Is it recording? Yeah. All right. We're going. I'll tell you what. Number one, Trey Lane with the new haircut, looking all suave. You know what people can do if they want to see us on tour? Let's go to wellredcomedy.com. WELLRED comedy.com. This Friday. Yeah. We're in New Orleans, right? Like as of listening to this podcast, we'll be in New Orleans this Friday at the Civic Theater. Limited tickets available. Grab them at wellredcomedy.com. And then after that, we're at Off the Hook Comedy Club in, oh, here's that sumbitch. Hold up. After that, we are at Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, Florida, December 11th through the 12th. The 11th is my birthday. If you need to be guilt tripped into coming to see us there, and then after that, we are going to be. It's our homecoming shows. Oh, sorry, I thought I had to burp. Our homecoming shows at Zany's in Nashville, December 16th through the 19th. Am I correct? Yes. And
that's right.
Yeah, and also we are filming those shows.
No. It's just the 18th now, ain't it?
Okay, you're right. December 16th through 18th, Zany's in Nashville. We're filming those shows. So if you're someone, maybe you don't live in the Nashville area, but you live a couple hours away, it'd be worth the drive. You know what I'm saying? I know that one or two of the shows are already sold out. So grab those tickets at wellredcomedy.com. And we can't wait to see you out there. And hey, Drew.
Hey, can you hear me?
Where are you at?
Austin.
Oh, word?
Yeah, my internet's being terrible though.
And I can hear you fine.
My phone's almost dead, so this is super raving.
No, you sound good. You are in Austin because you and Andy are driving from LA to home, and that's just where you're at.
Yeah, we're gonna be in New Orleans by Thursday. We're seeing Winona Judd tomorrow.
Oh, that's dope. Where, like in Austin?
Yeah, we're gonna go to Groon Hall. Tony Campbell's gonna join us. And
you know what?
Lovely wife, Paige.
Yeah, I thought that sentence you just said sounded familiar. I talked to Tony the other day, and he said that he was going to try to go to Green Hall with y'all and see that show.
It's super great you guys can hear me, but I'm having a hard time with you. I think you said
can't hear us.
Come on down.
No. I was talking to Tony Campbell, and he was telling me that he might hang out. All the things that you just said, I was like, I feel like I've heard this before, and it was because Tony Campbell and I had spoken last week. So that's rad, man. I guess I'll probably be in. I think I'm getting to New Orleans like mid-afternoon Friday, day of show. I'm just staying a couple extra days. Drew can't hear a goddamn word we're saying, can he?
Well, I just speaking of shit being raving, I'm pissed off right now because just before we got on here, this is partially my fault, sort of, but so I ordered Katie's Christmas present and it was arriving today, and I knew that, but it's like discreetly packaged and addressed to me, you know? Yeah. And also I've been like on the UPS tracker watching it, and it was still like 2 blocks over. It was like 12:30 to 4:30 window, and I track my packages a lot, and they almost never, ever come in the early part of any given window. It's always in the later part, you know? So I wasn't that worried about it, but also I was trying to keep an eye on it. And also it's addressed to me, and it's in packaging where you can't tell what it is or whatever.
But you know she'd be going through your shit.
I get shit here at the house all the time, podcast sponsors and stuff like that or whatever. But anyway, right before we started, she texted me, and she just opened it immediately when it showed up. So she just straight up fucking opened it, and I'm really upset about it.
I would be too.
I want to fucking return it and just get her something else, I guess.
You'd have to shop more, though.
Yeah, right. I don't want to have to go through that process. Also, I'm terrible at buying gifts, and I felt really good about this one. She didn't open the.
I don't think you're terrible at buying gifts. I think that Katie is bad at receiving gifts, if I may defend you for a second. No. Yeah, listen. I know that we're star-crossed lovers, but like normally me and Katie are kind of like on the same page and shit, but I know some of the stuff that you've gotten her over the years, and I'll be honest with you, good gifts that I would love to get.
Well,
I'm like, I would have loved that fucking Gucci bag. It was wasted on your fucking wife.
Right. Well, anyway, she didn't open it fully, but I mean, she's, you know, she knows enough. She knows enough, and it's just, it's just upset me. I don't know what to do about it. I mean, what can you do about it?
Are you a surprise guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. No, like, but I mean, like being surprised. Yeah.
Like, That's the biggest part of it for me.
Me too.
And she knows that.
Yeah.
Like, I hate having a surprise ruined
It's the
that
worst.
is for me. I hate it. And that goes for like spoilers too. I fucking hate spoilers. But yeah, gift surprises. Like she's the opposite and always has been. That's part of why I'm annoyed right now. I know she didn't do this on purpose, but it still is just like very cosmically appropriate because this is just how it is between the two of us all the time. Because she's the opposite. If she gets me something, she'll almost never make it to the actual day of without ruining it by telling me because it's just like eating her up inside. And she's like, "Can I just give it to you now? Can I just tell you now? Whatever." And I'm like, "No, I want it to be a fucking surprise." And she's like, "What's?" And she's the exact opposite. So anyway, it's just super Raven, and I'm pissed off about it. But whatever.
Yeah, I'd almost rather have nothing than to get something and you tell me like in advance what it is. I'm like, I don't. That's not.
Yeah, or no, I'm right. I'm the same way.
I'm the type of person like when I need something, I go get it. It's not like I want for anything in this fucking world. But if we're gonna do the whole present thing, like I want to like be like, oh my god, like that's the moment.
All right, so I got a couple of things I wanted to ask y'all about. The first one, I'm hoping this will lead into just you talking about fighting with your mama, Cho. That's where I'm hoping this is going. So but no pressure. It don't have to. But I got a question from one of my Patreon people. It's also a way for me to say you can go to patreon.com/Trey Crowder if you want some extra shit from me. I got a patron on there sent me a message. They go by Amethyst. That's their handle on there. So I don't have.
Is that a rock?
It is. It's a pink rock.
Crystal.
Yeah,
pink
those
gemstone. Yeah. Anyway, Amethyst says apparently, and I honestly I don't remember this, but apparently on a recent episode of the podcast, or somewhere or another, you were talking about transgender people and how they hit for you. Yeah, you were.
Okay. Oh, is it when I was talking about sometimes when I watch porn, I watch transgender women bang regular women? Because my whole thing was like, if I'm going to have to look at a dick, that dick may as well have titties. Yeah.
So Amethyst heard that.
I stand by that, by the way. Stand by it.
Right. Well, I'm glad you remember that because I didn't, because it's going to make the
We always remember the truth.
It's going to make the sign off here make more sense now that you've clarified that because I had forgotten, which you'll understand in a minute. But anyway, Amethyst said, it's all well and good to think transgender should have rights, but would you stand up to your mama if she was talking shit about us? Signed, one of the queers you like to see naked. So anyway, I guess so yeah, like I said, I'm glad you clarified the thing there. But I told Amethyst, I said, well, I'll ask him the question because I would like to hear him talking about him and his mama and where shit talking is concerned.
Yeah.
But I can go ahead and tell you though that I know that he would.
What was the question exactly?
If your mama, and I'm not even saying your mama would do this, but if your mama was like, at the Thanksgiving dinner table or something, and expressing the opposite viewpoint about not about tech diddy porn,
right?
If your mama was like regular porn or nothing else,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah. If my mom was talking shit about transgender people,
if two women are gonna fuck on film, Corey, one of them better not have a goddamn dick. And if you feel differently, get the fuck out of my kitchen.
How would that go in your presence, basically?
In my, to my recollection, me and my mom, I've never heard my mom say. I can say this sincerely. My mom is one of the more open-minded women as it pertains to the LGBTQ community from way back. Because I remember being pretty young and like my mom was told by her church not to watch Will and Grace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my mom was always like, I don't get, it's funny. Who gives a shit? And they were all like, but you don't understand, it's a sin. And I remember my mom just being like, that's bullshit. Like I've got friends who are interior decorators who are gay, who are very sweet people, and I don't think of them as people who are going to hell. That's ridiculous. So my mom's actually always been pretty, woke in that regard. That said, though, so my point is, she would never in this regard say anything about this community. That said, my mom definitely does have some other opinions that I've fucking argued with her about and would. So yes, in the situation that happened, you're goddamn right I would. And I would end up having to leave. Like, it depends, though. And I've said this before. It depends on if we had already eaten. You know what I mean? Like if dinner had not been served yet and mom started talking shit, I would conveniently bite my tongue until I was on my second plate. Then once I knew I had everything I came there for, I'd be like, all right, I'd unbutton my pants and go, let me tell you how I feel about the fucking transgender people. You know what I mean?
Well, so I was gonna ask then, like, once y'all get started in on each other, like how
it goes.
Yeah, how's that often go? You said you end up having to leave. Like, do you ever feel that you've done admirably at the end of these, or are you always way madder than she is, and also you've removed yourself to somewhere else to be pissed off, and she's just like going on about her day as if nothing happened?
Trey, do you remember Donovan's?
Yeah,
that was different.
Yeah, but so no, not really. I mean, I remember what you're talking about, but I thought it was her kind of like fucking with him in some way.
That, but I thought it started out with Trump. Am I wrong about that?
Probably. No, you're probably right.
I don't remember.
It was because I said I would vote for that sweet potato right there before I would vote for that dumb fat son of a bitch who is the same color, and that made Corey laugh. And I said that to your dad.
Yeah.
And then you and your mom got in on something, and then she did make it not about Trump, which is what I was going to bring up. Does she often do that? Like it felt like it shifted from like Trump to like, and then she winked at me once he got real going. She looked at me and went, and it fucking. Whew.
Yeah. Well, everybody in my family, mom, dad, and the extended family that are like not blood relatives, but we sort of like all adopted as our family. They constantly. Like they are always the one that brings up politics, but then I know more than them. And so they're always teaming up on me, like, because I'm the lone liberal person there. So every time they bring it up, then everybody looks at me like, oh, we know you got something to say about this. And then maybe I'll ignore it. But then they'll say something insane and then I don't ignore it. And then I go really, really hard and I start saying some stuff that they don't even know what I'm talking about because they don't actually know what the fuck they're talking about. They just know what they hate. You know what I mean? And so I'll start saying some shit. And then by the end of it, I'll always hear like, God dang, you just got to make everything about politics. I'm like, I fucking didn't say shit. I was wanting to talk about the fucking Titans. I fucking hate politics. I resent my fucking career. I resent fucking everyone who fucking clicks any of my shit. I fucking hate it. This was supposed to be my fucking fortress of solitude, you cocksucking pieces of shit. No, I don't want to talk about fucking politics, but y'all brought it up and I know more than you sack of shit. So yes, when I feel ganged up on, I'm going to say something. So I know when she starts crying.
She leans over and says, yeah, he's the progressive one.
Yes, exactly. It'll be that. But then, like, mom will say some shit or somebody will say some shit, and I'll fucking go off. And then, like, it'll be like, oh, I thought you were supposed to be tolerant of everybody's opinions. I'm like, I'm not tolerant of intolerant fucking people or whatever the fuck. And then she'll cry and be like, I can't believe you would say this to your mom. I'm like, oh, you fucking bitch. Because she don't, if my mom, because listen, my mom has only ever fake cried in her life. You know what I'm saying? My mom has only ever done the was I speeding officer fucking cry. It's not real. So when she starts crying, I'm like, you really gonna pull this fucking bullshit Hail Mary out at me right now just because you got dusted? You know what I mean? Like you didn't know what, like, so yeah, I mean, we end up going back and forth and she'll pull the whole fucking like, I raised you and I gave you food. And I'm like, oh yeah, the government fucking makes you do that, you dumbass. Like you would have gone to jail if you hadn't have done that. Anyways, I love my mom, but like I do know that the argument is completely over when she starts crying, and then I'll fucking have to leave. I'll have a fucking conversation with my dad, who, by the way, my dad might have even been the person that brought it up to fucking begin with. Like my dad, dude, let me tell you what my dad's on right now. We're at fucking family dinners, and instead of like having some light jazz music in the background, Dad's got fucking Joe Rogan and Barstool clips playing on a loop.
Really?
Yes, like during fucking family dinner, that's just what's on. Just in the background, just Dave Portnoy going like, what, can you not fucking stick your fingers up a bitch's skirt anymore in this goddamn country? And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, man, I've just got to not say anything. I don't want to ruffle any fucking feathers. But again, I love my whole family. I genuinely do. But we really don't argue as much as we used to. Are we going?
Yeah. Well, that's that went about the way that I hoped it would. Which
you're just like my mom.
Yeah. Well, so how did how did this particular Thanksgiving go?
Oh, I wasn't with
on
them.
that front. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You were in Iowa. Never
I
mind.
was in Iowa. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm never with them. Like I'm only with them for Christmas. And I got to say, like, I know I just did that whole rant, and part of that was like obviously true feelings. There's truth in comedy, but like a lot of that was just me trying to hit. But because now, luckily, because we have Laura James, like my niece, like all of our focus is purely on her. So like she's really awesome because anytime I start sensing that like some bullshit's going down, I just grab her and start playing with her, and like nobody, that's it, that's over, you know what I mean? But this Thanksgiving I was in Iowa, like, you know, I've told you before, my Iowegian brethren, my in-laws, Iwotians or whatever they are, they are as apolitical as it gets on one side, and then on the other side Democrats, because her papa was a union man, he was a postal worker, so like, but none of that ever gets brought up either. Like I would hate to talk about politics that I like at Thanksgiving.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like I see all these people like, oh, I bet you when you and Trey and Drew get together, y'all are talking about the fucking Comey method and all that. I'm like, you fucking hell no, we're not. like people think that. They really think that we're just like, I mean, again, like I've got the things that I believe and I agree with, but that is not how I get down entertainment wise.
Yeah, also those people clearly don't listen to the WellRED podcast.
No, this is the most political we've been.
Mostly just butthole stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think all politics are farts.
Yeah, I wish. No. Farts hit.
Farts do hit. Speaking of farts hitting and farts on the national stage there, we were talking in the group chat recently about
Roland.
a couple of famous fartiste from history. Roland the farter and also Le Pétomane, a French farteur.
I knew more about Le Pétomane than I did Roland, but I knew a little bit about both.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering, like, okay, for people that don't know, both of these guys were like renowned for their farting ability. Le Pétomane was in like Victorian era, but in France, he was on stage at the Moulin Rouge. He had his own headlining set at the Moulin Rouge where he would like. So he found out when he was a kid that
they need to add a fourth verse to that fucking song about him.
He was swimming in some lake and realized that he could suck water up his butt and then shoot it out at will. And he was like, shit, I can do that with air too. Well, when you suck air into your butt, then when you shoot it out, that's just a fart. That's what farts are. So like, so he had full control over his farting prowess, and he ended up going pro, which is a hell of a thing to have done. And he
sucked too. You think the first time he was a pro at farting, he was like kind of upset that he could never compete at the amateur level anymore?
Yeah, right. Like now,
the fart Olympics, he's out.
It became work to him, you know, or it used to be his passion, and now it was just a job, farting.
He went back to that lake wistfully, sit by the lakeside and think about the days
back when farting was simple, you know. But he
just walked straight into the lake and waited till the fart bubbles stopped.
He had like little like kind of old McDonald-y type of like jingles that he would punctuate with various farts that represented the animal noises, and he could fart like a cannon shot, and he could fart like a thunderclap, and he could blow out candles across the stage with his farts and things like that. And this is what his show consisted of.
He could blow out candles?
Yeah, blow out candles, yeah.
Because the reason is because that's not methane he was sucking in.
He's just sucking air into his butt.
Yeah, I was more confused and impressed by the accuracy, distance, etc.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, dude, he was a pro's pro. That's what I'm saying. But it got me to thinking, A, I feel like that show would hold up today, personally.
Absolutely.
And B,
I kind of can't believe that with how our world is, we don't have it.
That is the second thing I was just about to say. B, it's very wild to me that we don't. Yeah, that's it. It's very wild to me that we don't have any prominent fartistes in our society.
I agree.
Because
that guy that was going viral.
There's a lady that farts that I follow.
The mall cop, the security guard, Paul Fart.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I don't know if this is what Corey meant, but OnlyFans and the porn world has a lot of farties.
Sure, but like.
But I know what you mean. Like they're not selling out Carnegie Hall.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no,
I
right.
would
They're
think,
at the Carnegie Deli, you know, but
like, this is apparently a more than generational type of
right.
talent and
Yeah,
ability
of
here.
course.
There's been two guys that we know of ever in recorded human history who had it like that, but it's wild to me. It's wild to me that
It
there
is
haven't
wild.
been any more, because I think if a new, Fartiste emerged in this climate, they could do really well, because
Yeah,
it's the command that's important.
I would
Paul
right.
Fart, he,
Anybody can fart.
he had some good raw talent,
Yeah,
but he didn't have the discipline or the control,
right.
which is what's really important. You got to be able to do it at a moment's notice and on
I
command.
would absolutely love to see an around the horn type sketch about people discussing pro farters so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd just like to see the pro fart
Me
footage,
too. That yeah, and people out there might know because it's a pretty popular TikTok. I can't think of her name, but like her whole gimmick is that she farts, and it's not necessary. They are loud; you can always hear them, but apparently they're really, really rank. And she always farts on or right around her boyfriend, and it
Yeah.
really
I've
don't hit
seen
for him.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it hits for me because he's always like, you. I mean, look, they may be acting. I'm certain that there's some, but like, if not. He always looks genuinely upset and disgusted to be in a relationship with this person and in the area with her. And as someone who is in a relationship with a farter, I really relate to those videos because my wife stay farting, boy.
Okay. I know we've
And
talked
be
She
recently
go
about
farting.
pro.
you holding your farts in public, but you don't be farting around her.
Yeah.
So is farting not a two-way street in your relationship, is what
It,
I'm saying?
are you saying like why am I mad at her for farting when I fart?
Yeah.
No, because I don't go out of my way to fart on her. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I fart, I just fart. This bitch just like she will wait till I round the corner. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
fart, or she'll set up like proximity farts. You know what I mean? Like I'll look coming down the hall, and she'll be looking at me, and then like I'll walk through it, and she'll just fucking start smiling, and she'll just like run off. You know what I mean? Like she knows what's up. Also, she eats like a fucking 4-year-old. Like she has such a trash palate that hers are just like some days specifically. Amber's the type of person to be like, oh, I don't know why my stomach's so upset. All I did was eat 2 cans of chicken for lunch. You know what I mean? Cans of fucking chicken. Like we ain't got it. Like we ain't, you know what I mean? Like I could like
I don't know anyone who's ever eaten canned chicken ever.
yeah, no, I know because if you eat canned chicken, it should be because that's the only thing that you can afford. Like I'm not making fun of anyone who has to eat canned chicken. We do not have to eat canned chicken. And she constantly does it and she doesn't like she's like, "What's wrong with canned chicken?" I was like, "Well, it's chicken in a fucking can." I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but like it's normal that your guts is fucked up.
Does she
Andy,
make chicken salad out of it?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes she'll just mix it with rotel and just
Yeah, because
fucking
I'm okay. Well, goddamn, because I'm like,
By the way, I'm not
I'm
saying it don't taste good. I'm certain
I'm
it
very
does.
familiar with like the way you make tuna salad. The canned chicken looks like a can of tuna. It's the
Yeah,
same type of
I can
situation.
right,
And
and I eat
you
that
take a
sometimes.
can of tuna and you make tuna salad
Yeah,
with canned tuna. You just do the exact same thing, but with chicken, and
yeah,
that's like a kind of like
I guess I was
not
interpreting as
gourmet version of chicken salad,
yeah,
which is pretty common, I
yeah.
believe.
No,
I
you
was
right. I was talking too
interpreting
much
it
shit.
as just eating a can of chicken, so maybe
They
that was on me.
they have one. Do you ever see that thing? It's real. That at one point you could
Yeah,
buy an entire chicken in a can. Like you
Yeah.
pull it
that
out and
I
it's all.
think they still have those in some places. Now I
That's
ain't
Is there
never
insane.
bones in
seen
it?
that.
Yeah, it's the whole chicken just
All right,
smooshed
hold
in there.
on. Before we move on from farting, I want to say
Well,
Andy
it's
has
not
a stated goal and dream of farting bare ass on
on
my dick.
tile.
On my
Oh,
dick.
like while it's in or
Not while it's in, but
oh
like
right.
while it's like, here's what happened. She
You just,
farted on me when we were cuddling once, and I said, "You almost farted on my dick." And now all
gypsy
she wants to
speedboat.
do is fart on my dick.
Well,
Which
let
That's
her
also
fart on.
Gypsy Speedboat.
Let
That's also Gypsy Speedboat.
all
It's
she
like
wants to do
three
is
Gypsy Speedboat song titles in a row. Like, she almost farted on my dick. Let her fart on your dick. Fucking
All
There
she
was a
wants to
third one.
do is
All
fart
she
on my.
wants to do is fart on my dick. That's what it is.
All
Yeah,
she
right.
wants to do is fart on my dick. Down, 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 down. Man, we gotta start.
Yeah,
Somebody, huh?
I
Go
told
ahead.
this on Chance Willie's podcast, and at first he just thought I meant, like you're cuddling, but you got clothes on. And he was like, yeah, whatever. But then he found out that I meant naked, and he
Ooh.
kept saying, and it was so funny to me, bare butt to wiener? You want to go bare butt to wiener? You
But you
can't
won't-
let her go bare butt to wiener.
But you won't let her fart. You said it's a dream of hers, implying that
I
she
will
hasn't
not
been.
let her fart on my dick.
Why?
Because a bare ass fart is disgusting. You're just pooping on somebody.
But you like stank.
But not that kind. And I ain't letting her fart on my dick. And I told her, because she's like, I'm going to do it. And I said, if you do, I will never cuddle you again. We won't spoon ever again.
punishment.
So, like, that's the cost. And it makes her furious, like genuinely mad, because that's one of the few things I can take from Andy that would upset her.
Dude, you know what you need to do? Since we were talking about gifts earlier, for Christmas, you need to get her a box, and inside the box is a piece of paper, and she just opens it up, and it just says, "You can fart on my dick."
But
Just
in
give
like
that-
calligraphy,
Yeah,
like really flowery.
spend like $100 on a note
Yeah.
that says, "You can fart on my
A
dick."
puzzle. She has to put it together.
Yeah.
It'll build over weeks. I'll be like, listen, you need to figure this out. You really want it.
Yeah. I bet Amber
So-
will accidentally fart on my dick.
Well, Andy
I can't
almost
believe she
did. That's
hasn't
how this
already.
got started.
Yeah.
She accidentally farted on my leg, close to my dick.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. Smelling it's one thing, feeling it, totally different thing.
Honestly, if she just asked, my ass might have been like, fuck it. But
Yeah.
knowing what it felt like on my thigh,
Okay.
and then transferring that to my dick, no.
She needs to pick her spots though, because like if y'all were about to get it on and you were like in the zone and she just went, "Can I fart on your dick?" I bet you'd be like, "Yeah, fart on my dick." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if she just asked you while you're laying in bed, "Can I fart on your dick?" It's like, bitch, get the fuck off my dick with your farts.
I do know what you mean. And there is a lot of things I would say yes to with an erection. I don't think that's one of them. And it's not even like, I don't think I'm better than that. I just don't think
Right.
it. I also don't think she'd be into it in that moment.
Right. She only well, that's the thing. She only wants it if you don't.
Yeah, she only farts on my dick.
So speaking of Gypsy Speedboat, them song titles is a pretty good.
Yeah,
segue
whoever
into-
out there is keeping up with those, add those to it and run them back to us later. Because I know that somebody out there has a Rolodex of Gypsy Speedboat songs.
That's a good segue into another thing I wanted to bring up, which is, do y'all remember Pankard and Bowden?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
prank call people.
No.
No. Hold on.
They
Pinker
might
and
have
Bowden
also
was
done that. I'm not sure.
they were a
but
comedy singing duo.
yes.
Yes.
So
yeah.
the other day, I know I've talked about it before on here. I have this thing. I'm sure a lot of people do. Maybe everybody does. But I'll oftentimes wake up with
Mad.
just some random song, that too, but with some random song in my head. And I don't know, it must have been in a dream I had or something, but it could be just completely how much the song hits for me is totally immaterial. It could be
Usually goes the
completely
other way for me.
Yeah, right, for sure. But not always. But anyway, the other day I woke up thinking about that song and then it brought back a whole slew of memories about those dudes, Pankard and Bowden, because I remember being at my mama cat's place or my other me mom and pa's house or whatever, and there would be these like commercials that would play all the time, probably on like TNN, the Nashville network or something like that. They
God,
were
that
watching
station hit for me.
for Pankard and Bowden, this comedy country duo. And the song that I woke up with in my head that I hadn't thought of in years and hadn't thought of them in years was Mama She's Lazy. Y'all remember that song? Like you're talking about Winona Judd. It's a takeoff of Mama He's Crazy, Crazy Over Me by the Judds. But except it goes, Mama She's Lazy, lazier than me.
Yeah.
And in thinking about it, I decided to go and look up the lyrics,
Hell yeah, I'm glad you did. I bet this about to be some sexist shit, boy.
Trey,
I mean, it is, but it's not as bad as you would think. I don't think.
Damn it.
Trey, before you read them, did you remember that from a commercial that had multiple songs on it?
Yes, right. So, yeah, I thought of that, and it brought back this memory of like, if you're of a certain age, you can remember when they used to have commercials for like albums, compilation albums and stuff, where
Oh yeah.
the titles would scroll through the
Yeah.
screen and then they
I
would
remember this
switch.
commercial.
They would switch every 7th or 8th song and play a little snippet of one, and it would keep going. So
And it was awesome. I love that shit.
Do you remember the other ones? I got one.
I Lobster but Never Flounder.
I remember that
was one.
She thinks I steal cars.
Cars. She thinks I steal cars. Yeah, that one.
That's fucking great, dude.
That is great, dude. Pinkerton Bowden fucking hit.
Yeah, right. So
what are they up to, Dad?
Probably or thereabouts, you know. But so
steal cars.
Mama, she's lazy, goes, Mama, I found someone. Like you said, I took her home. She has no snout, but there's no doubt. Biggest pig I've ever known. I thought that she would help me out with the laundry and the chores, but there are those who won't wash clothes, and guess who's scrubbing the floors? Mama, she's lazy, lazier than me, and on my couch is where she sits. She's always going to be. I've never slept that long. She beats all I've ever seen. And then, you know, the rest of it, you know, there's later on. She's always in a trance. She's hung up on the movie stars on the afternoon TV. And now I'm concerned she ain't worth a darn. And I can't even get her to leave. Mama, she's lazy, lazier than me. And then it goes on from there. But also, yeah, let's look up some of the other Pinkerton Bowden.
One of their songs was called "I'm Gonna Beat the Cheat Out of You." it was, and it's all. It's on their album live in front of a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. That's the other thing that was wild about them that I didn't remember or recognize from those commercials that played all the time is that they were like they cussed and stuff. Like they were not like G rated, like which was a big deal in, you know, the country world back then. But they also had some one, like there was one I saw called Libyan on a Jet Plane, like Leaving on a Jet Plane by John Denver, you know, but it's about being racist. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. They got Fudge Packers in Disguise. Yeah. Since My Baby Turned Gay is showing up on here, the Poop Shoot Boogie.
I gotta say, Since My Baby Turned Gay by them, probably very awful and problematic, but that could be a genuinely great country song.
Yeah, for sure. They've also got Propane instead of cocaine, you know. You'll have that. But Joe, I was wondering if you knew, so you remember them and all they hit and whatnot. Do you know who co-wrote a great many of their songs with them? Like most of their big songs were co-written with somebody.
I don't know, but I'm going to just wager an educated guess. Well, no, because the way you're phrasing it, it's not obvious. Because I was going to go with like Ray Stevens, you know, or a young Cletus T. Judd.
Your guess is who?
David Allen Coe.
No. Tim Wilson.
Oh, you know what? That's one of the reasons I know Pinkerton, like that I knew about Pinkerton Bowden even when I got older. Like as a kid, I remember those things, but I remember him talking about him. Yes, you were correct. Tim Wilson, by the way, you know this little fact about Tim Wilson. You know who played on the drums for pretty much every single Tim Wilson album?
I know you've told me this before.
Yeah,
Levon Helm?
Levon Helm.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
God, that rules.
It does rule. Yeah, Tim Wilson referred to Levon Helm as the world's greatest American. But hey, while we're here, if you're out there and you don't know who Tim Wilson is or Pinkerton Bowden, you should look up all their stuff, especially Tim Wilson, and buy all of his stuff. Rest in peace. He was my comedy idol. Great guy.
Should we take a pause?
Yeah, let's take a break real quick.
And we're back. Hitting break. Yeah, I remember living in Knoxville and just started doing stand up. And I wish I remember this guy's name. I wonder if you know who this is, Joe. Like, I bet you probably worked with this guy, whoever it is. But
Was he a huge sack of shit that was at the
I
end of
don't
his
know. It
rope? Because
wasn't.
I bet I
I just
did.
heard. So I was at Side Splitters all the time, and he wasn't coming through Side Splitters. I just heard radio ads for this guy's show, and he was playing some other venue, but I can't remember where. I don't think it was like. I mean, it might have been the Bijou, but I don't know. But anyway, and I heard all these radio ads for his show, and he was like a Pinkerton Bowden, Cletus T. Judd type, but I had never heard of him. And they played some of his songs, and the only one that I can remember was Cletus Take the Reel.
You don't remember the guy's name?
No, I was like, did you
I don't know.
like you used to like work with Cletus, right?
Yeah,
was
I
there
did.
ever anybody else that you were aware of that would come
Tim
through
Hawkins.
and do that?
Tim
Hawkins.
It wasn't Tim's. Tim's pretty big now. Now
This
are you
10
saying that
years ago.
was Tim Hawkins, Drew?
Yeah.
Tim Hawkins is from Louisville, Kentucky. Tim started comedy around the same time as my buddy Dale, I think. And he's in the Christian world now and raking it in, as I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Tim
Christian
Hawkins
comedian Tim Hawkins
from Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. Yeah, I never worked with Tim, but I definitely knew of Tim and have known of Tim pretty much my whole comedic life. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't think Cletus, those guys, I think with those guys, it's like they're always separate. You know what I mean? They don't like work together. I mean, maybe they wrote the songs together, but like Cletus isn't going to have that guy opening for him or vice versa.
right.
But yeah, no, I think by the time I started the Comedy Catch, Tim Hawkins was already like you said, doing the Bijou and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. It was wild to me because I remember hearing them, and I guess it was the Bijou or maybe even the Tennessee Theater. I don't know, but I remember thinking like, that's wild. I never even heard of that guy. But if it's a Christian world thing, then that completely makes sense.
Yeah, he also got really big on, like, back when you could get big on Bob and Tom and stuff like that. He did, like there was a moment there where, like, I mean, dude, I know people to this day who are still able to have pretty good road careers because they were real fucking popular on Bob and Tom like 15, 20 years ago. And I'm pretty sure that he popped off. He also did some like crank calls and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely remember him from my time back in the day.
Yeah. What about Cletus?
What about him?
Well, you worked with him, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well,
how'd that go?
Barry's a great guy. I talked to him probably, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just, hey, how you doing? Random text from time to time. That was weird because that was like, in hindsight, it's bizarre because, like, we ended up touring together and being buddies, and I even sang backup on his hit song Double D Cups, which of course, as you know, is a parody of Red Solo Cup by Toby Keith. Which was fun, but like when I was touring with Cletus, it was a very wild moment for me because he was like one of my heroes when I was a kid, which like is weird because I didn't go into exactly what he did. Like I don't do musical parody. I mean, like my comedy always has some sort of a musical element to it. I'm a pretty sing-songy. There's Drew. He's gone. I'm a pretty sing-songy type person. But Cletus was like the dude. So like when my buddies from back home found out that I was like touring with Cletus, it was a really, really big fucking deal.
Like as the host or featuring for him or what? And like did you like just also drive somewhere and meet him, or were you like traveling with him?
It was me and Big Ed, and Big Ed was featuring and I was hosting, and it was cool because the way Cletus would do it was I was hosting and going first, but he would let me do a little extra time so he could do a little less, frankly. But he would actually come out first and introduce me. He would come out, his fans would be super hyped to see him. And then he would, be like, all right, I got a, sweet treat for y'all, which was great. Cause it was way better than, coming up cold or whatever. So that was pretty cool. He ended up firing me. And we're still buddies, but it was weird for a minute because this was when we were touring together. This was during the whole Casey Anthony thing. And yeah.
Where is this going?
Well, it was during the whole Casey Anthony thing. And I had a joke I can't remember the joke at all, but in the joke, Casey Anthony, the mama, is the bad guy. All right. Like in no way was this joke like, I'm glad she stuffed her daughter in a fucking car. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't that. Like it was making fun of the audacity. Again, I don't remember the joke, but like it was making fun of the audacity, how stupid it was. Like she had like, they found out that she had Googled chloroform or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. And anyways, I was doing that joke and it was doing really well. And one night Cletus was like, hey man, I want you to stop doing that Casey Anthony joke. And I was like, and being stupid, I go, oh, you got one? Are you doing? Are you doing a Casey Anthony joke? And he was like, no, it's just that like I don't think you should. I don't think you should make fun of stuff like that. And I was like, what? And he's like, that a little girl died, you know. And I go, yeah, no, I know. I'm talking to like I'm making fun of the mom, like not the death situation. He's like, look, man, I have a daughter the same age of the little girl who this woman killed. And instead of just being like, yes, sir, I won't do the joke anymore. Thanks for having me on tour. I just go, fuck does it matter if you got a goddamn daughter the same age as her? What the fuck does that have anything to do with anything? You know what I mean? Like there's a fucking shit ton of people out there laughed at that goddamn joke, got young kids. Like, what are we even talking about? And I got so defensive over it that I didn't get, I was told not to come back on the tour. And I fucking literally died on the hill for a Casey Anthony joke. It was just, and in my mind, I was like doing the right thing. I was like, no, you're supposed to stand up for your fucking material. He didn't. And in my mind also, Cletus wasn't a stand-up comedian. You know what I mean? Like when we were on the road with Cletus, me and Ed were like helping him tool his act into more of a stand-up act. And he got it there really good. And so in my mind, I was just like, he just don't know what the fuck. He just don't know what the fuck is going on and how it goes, you know? Well, as it turns out, I totally should have just been like, okay, man, whatever you want, I won't do that. You know what I mean? Like I should have just done that, but I
But
didn't.
how long
But,
would you have been, that?
oh, not long.
I think
Yeah.
it worked out though.
It was it worked out fine. And again, we still talk. Like if I'd have done that and he would have been mad at me, I would have been upset about it. But he's not. Like we've talked since then. There's no bad blood or anything. And I hope that I didn't come across like when I was just on here talking about, oh, he don't know what the fuck he's doing. That was me. That's how I felt then. That's not how I feel now. You know what I mean? But it was cool. I'm glad I got to do it. And there's a lot of my buddies who are still like, they think I'm hot shit because I, sang on Double D Cups with Cletus. Like that's my best credit to them.
How you said he wasn't a stand? I guess I just always. How do you start and something like that? Like how did he
Well,
get? I just assumed he was going to like comedy open mics and comedy show. Because
no.
there's been plenty of musical comedy acts, and I just assumed he was one of those in like southern clubs and stuff.
Yeah, I don't
Not
know,
ever
man.
having known the story, I
I
just
think he was
figured
around
that.
Nashville, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was straight up just recording shit. Like he was just writing parodies and recording them, and there was no, and like his
I think he
shows
went to
came
open
after.
mics there,
I don't know any of that.
like
All I
music
know,
ones.
yeah, music
Well,
ones,
he
yeah,
Pinkard and Bowden, they were in Nashville trying to do it for real,
right,
and the jokey stuff was just them fucking around, and of course that ended up hitting, and none of
right.
their serious stuff ever hit.
Yeah, well, with him, I don't know because like all I know is when he started doing stand up, he was coming and he was doing his songs and he would tell stories in between. And then I opened for him when we met, and he talked to me and Ed about it and was like, I got all these stories, but I'm not, I haven't really ever done stand up comedy. Like I've never done that, but like a club is the only place for me. And so we were just like, yeah, we can, hell, we'll hang out with you, go to shows, and like punch all that shit up and turn you from just a long form storyteller into that can be turned into comedy. Which, like, they were already funny stories anyways. But I don't know that I guess when like you said, when he went to open mics and shit, he was just doing his songs. But though, unless he did then and just chooses not to now, he don't play instruments during his shows. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like he
really?
just has a track. So that would be going to an open mic and being like, here's a tape. That, I mean, maybe that was a thing. I don't know.
No, you're right.
Huh.
I was probably wrong.
I
I
just
thought he
assumed he
made it
had a
in
guitar
Nashville though.
too. I didn't. So he just sang
I'm not
like,
saying that he didn't at one point, but when we went on the road, he had his tracks.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Trey, I
I went.
opened for him in Knoxville. I was the MC and Big Ed was the feature. Probably after Corey got fired. And
It was. I guarantee it.
I showed up, and Bridget was like, listen, I don't remember if Ed was there and Cletus wasn't, or vice versa, but it was like, somebody's not coming. We need you to do 25. And I was like, all right, well, you're going to have to let me cuss and talk about religion and talk about drugs, but that's fine. And then she looked at Ed, and Ed started chuckling, and then she was like, you're such a piece of shit. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, we were fucking with you. And I was like, okay. She's like, you don't have 25. I was like, bitch, I got 30. You just won't let me do any of it. Anyway, it hit for Ed real hard.
That's so fucking funny.
That's very much a thing I can, see her doing. Like, she's thinking you're gonna like shit the bed, be like, what? I can't.
I would. Watch me fuck with this kid.
It's also so funny too to think about a baby comic when the booker goes, "You ain't got 25." Like, bitch, I got 30.
that's fair, but like,
I know it's funny.
This is at the end, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. How hard y'all go on Thanksgiving, by the way?
Ooh, I went. Yeah, we started eating at 2, and I didn't stop till 6. I went real hard. We had stuffing, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, beans, greens. Then we had the salad that my friend Audrey brought from Trader Joe's. I'm not gonna lie, my favorite thing.
Salad.
Yeah, the dressing tasted like heaven. It looked like cum.
You nice. You said stuffing just a minute ago. Y'all do stuffing, not dressing?
Stuffing, dressing, I don't know. I didn't make it, so I'm not sure what it
was. It in the bird ass?
No.
Okay, then not stuffing.
Well, now I don't think that's a universal thing. That's
stuffing has to be stuffed. Not everybody makes their dressing with cornbread dressing, but in order for
cornbread dressing for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I know that stove top comes immediately preceding it, and I get that, but there's stove top stuffing.
Yeah.
Which is never in the bird. Also, I know because
it shouldn't be called stuffing, though.
All right. This is not a hill I'm going to die on, but in advance of. Y'all hear that, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. Not bad.
That's fucking Katie's computer ringing.
That's okay.
Guess when her phone rang. Who lets a phone ring for that long? Are you kidding me? How many phones even can ring for that long? What the fuck? Anyway.
Where is that the way she don't answer the phone because she opened
Anyway. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, I was gonna do. So I just Googled like stuffing recipes, right? And if you do that, you're gonna find a whole shitload, almost none of which
go into bird.
It normally they say if you want to, you can shove all this up the bird's ass, and that's fine. But we're gonna describe it the other way, and you don't have to do that. Pretty much every recipe for stuffing, if you look up stuffing, is not going to be actually stuffed in a bird. It's going to be made in a pan. I know
that's fine. They're the ones saying it wrong, not me, though. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just saying, like, I feel like terminology can change.
I'm not going to be mad at anybody for saying that. All I'm saying is, in order for it to be stuffing, it must be stuffed into a fucking bird's ass. And if it's not, it's dressing.
Such a Southern progressive paradox. Fucking guys can be girls, but goddamn stuffing goes in the bird's ass.
I'm just saying that's what the word even means. It's stuffed in there. It's stuffed into the bird's ass. Like, so if not, you made a good dressing.
For what pronouns Corey will allow, but he has a fucking line when it comes to bread.
Because that's what that word means, to be stuffed.
Every type of dressing I ever had, turns out, we've talked before on here last year at Thanksgiving, I think, is like, I never even realized what the fuck dressing was, actually. Yeah. Like, when we were going to have our first Thanksgiving in California. Just
actually, I don't either. You probably told me.
I was going to cook it all. And I was like, yeah, I got to have dressing. And then in my head, I was like, wait a minute.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is dressing? Like, that's just dressing. You have
it's wet bread that hits. Right.
It's wet bread that hits. It's pretty much, it's just fucking bread.
Yeah, cornbread.
Specifically, all the dressing I ever had in the South, ever, on all sides, every side of the family, everywhere I ever went, always, only it was cornbread dressing. I
That's
know
the
now.
way.
Me
I
too.
didn't even know what that was. Okay, but I know now. It was always cornbread dressing, right? And then you had like there's you can get the instant box mixed stovetop stuffing, and that is which also stovetop stuffing can be made in a bird, by the way.
Yeah.
But the stuffing, to me, stuffing and dressing are two distinctly different things, and it's not just like I feel like they're different. Like
Yeah. No, I
I
agree.
made
One
stuffing
of
on
them
turkey.
goes inside of a bird, and the
No,
other one does. But I know it's a different recipe too.
it's bread. Like
Yeah.
I use this like there's this brand of like white bread that's just stupid fluffy called like artisanal or something like that.
Yes, I know what you. I know that one, and they make a brioche that is like a goddamn Tempur-Pedic pillar.
Right. So that's the go-to bread
Yeah.
for PB and J's and like around this household. So we had some artisanal bread, and I left it out overnight on purpose so it could get stale because you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And I followed this stuffing recipe to make that, and it hit so motherfucking hard, but was very very different than like my Meemaw's cornbread
Right.
dressing.
It wasn't as
I feel
grainy.
like it at all. So
Right.
I feel like if I gave that to Mima and I was
She.
like, here's my dressing, I'm calling
Yeah.
this dressing because I didn't stuff it up a bird's ass. So
Right.
therefore, I got to call it dressing. I feel like my Mima will be like, that ain't fucking dressing. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it ain't dressing.
Well, she's
But
being stupid too
but I
because
think if I called it stuffing,
yeah,
that would play. That would play
yeah,
just fine because
yeah.
dressing is the other thing. They
Yeah.
are different, I
I
think.
feel you, but like I also know, like because in Iowa they do. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it's a dressing that's made with definitely a different type of bread than cornbread. You know what I mean? And it's good. It ain't what I like, but it is good. But like I've always just said it's like that's cornbread dressing. You know what I mean? Actually, when I was a kid, it was just dressing. That was just it's
Right.
what it was. Then I got older. It's like, oh, cornbread. It's a different type. So like. No, I mean, your Meemaw would be within her rights to not know, I guess, because, like, why would she have ever had anything different? Hell, if I didn't marry Amber, I would have never had anything different neither, I guess. Didn't think that Amber would be the one that would fucking broaden my horizons, but hell.
You guys are broadening mine kind of right now. I mean, I've certainly had bread stuffing. I don't know. I think I'm with Trey.
On what? It's not a thing you
I
can
think
be with
bread is
someone on.
stuffing and cornbread is dressing.
It's if, I mean,
I think you need to.
I know what you mean. I know
if you are from
I'm not telling you fucking people don't call it that. People do
if
call
you're
it
from
that.
the shared culture that we all are from, I feel like you need to differentiate.
You do.
Between those two things. And I don't know how else to do it. And I'm saying one thing, if you call it stuffing, you're going to need to call it that, whether it comes out of a bird's ass or not. Otherwise, what the fuck do you call it?
You just say this is dressing, but I didn't. You could just say this is dressing, but I didn't make it with cornbread. Why do you have to be succinct with your goddamn grandma? She's gonna stand in front of you for a
pudding,
second.
but I didn't make it with banana pudding.
Because
my fucking bitch of a grandmother did that one time. My fucking bitch of a grandmother. We were at fucking Thanksgiving. At fucking Thanksgiving, we were all sitting there, and she was like. So she told us all, she's like, because she made a pretty good banana pudding. And she was like, I made banana pudding this year and we're going to have it for dessert, but I made it special. I did something different to the banana pudding. And I want to see who can figure it out. I bet nobody will be able to figure it out. I swear to God, we sit down, she dumps it all on her plate. My Uncle Jordan takes one bite and goes, there ain't no fucking bananas in here. and she was like, oh, you could tell? And we're like, yeah, we can fucking tell. It's banana pudding. You didn't put no bananas in it.
Just to trick you?
Just
prove that people didn't like the banana?
That it didn't matter? Yeah, I know. And like, don't get me wrong, the fucking just pudding slop with whipped cream and vanilla wafers still hits. Yes, extra, read all about it. It hits, but like, yeah, she was just like, she was like, I didn't feel like chopping up bananas. And it's like, well, then fucking don't do any of it.
Yeah, no wonder he cheated on her.
No, he didn't. I don't think. She cheated on him a lot.
Oh, I confused the papaws. My bad.
Yeah.
I often confused the papaws.
No, it happens. It does happen. Yeah, we had a good one. I ate way too much. I had like, 3 full meals and some like oyster stew snacks in between. Because, we do, in Iowa, we do Christmas also. So like I had 2 days of it. We did the night before Thanksgiving, we did Christmas, 2 full meals, and then Thanksgiving, 3 full meals for Thanksgiving and shit. So like I really put my fucking self. I'm not kidding, no exaggeration. In those 2 days, easily 11,000 calories, easy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I bought shrimp for our snacks. We was just straight eating shrimp cocktails like some luxurious motherfuckers.
That's
Mark
a move.
came over, drank half a bottle of whiskey,
Nice.
then drove home.
That's hilarious.
It was so good, dude.
Fucking Gen X, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
And
it
my buddy
affects them
Lou,
different,
who's
you
about
know.
his age and his persuasion, brought us some kind of rum that was like banana flavored. They've
Yeah.
been using it for mixer, but like he was like, I like it by itself. It tasted like fucking dessert. I thought I was like, he's gonna hand this to Mark. Mark's gonna throw it against the wall. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to burn. That's how you know it's working. But Mark really liked it too. So, you know, it was drunk at my house.
I can see Mark fucking slamming a bottle of liquor against the wall going, I don't want my alcohol to make me smile when I drink it. God damn it. That's a very Mark thing.
Supposed to burn.
Yeah, I roasted a whole chicken, made mashed potatoes, made stuffing that didn't go in a bird.
Dressing is what you
Made
made.
yeah.
Did you make gravy with your
no.
drippings? What kind?
Yeah, not giblet, just like dripping chicken gravy, you know, take the
How'd you
drippings.
make it?
Which is?
It's easy. I mean, you just take the drippings and throw flour in there and make it into a
Yeah.
paste. And you,
But I
then
mean,
you,
did you
then
make
you
it in a
use
place on
chicken
a
broth.
pan? What'd you like?
No, I didn't make it in the pan. I mean, I know you can do that, but the pan that I always roasted on top of a shitload of carrots and onions and stuff. So the pan's full of other shit that hits.
Yeah.
So I always scoop the drippings out to make the
Yeah.
gravy in a
But
pot
I'm
on the
asking,
stove.
even then, into a stovetop pan, or did you microwave
Yeah.
it, or what did you do?
No, into like a saucepan on the
Yeah.
stove. You know?
My friend Eric, who's a lot like Mark in his particularness and demeanor, he sent me a video of a chef he follows that he respects very much. I think he's actually out of New Orleans. Beard winner, all that. He microwaves his gravy. He says it does it even. There's no lumps. And he sent me the video, and you know, this is a beard winner. And it's just straight. It's not giblet. It's just straight up dripping gravy, but it looked good as fuck, man.
There's plenty of
So,
people I know who
I
are
just-
super legit that microwave their bacon as well. I am one of them
My
because
mother-in-law does that, and it hits.
the first time I heard somebody say that, I was like, immediately went to like sacrilege. You know, don't do that shit. But it just cooks it all fucking even, and you don't
You
burn
gotta have
yourself.
that rack, right?
So now
You
that
don't have to, but that does hit.
now that it's been made about me personally, I'm a little more upset about this stuff and dressing situation because
It's not. What do you mean?
because of reasons I've already explained. I put it.
You
off
didn't
on
do
my
anything
Mima.
wrong. You didn't do anything wrong.
I put it off on my Mima earlier, but the stuff that I made, I cannot call that dressing because I
Yes,
didn't
you
make
can.
it out of cornbread.
It don't matter. Then it's not cornbread dressing,
And
but it's
I'm
dressing.
with you, Trey, and that don't mean anything to you.
But it ain't goddamn stuffing. I don't give a fuck what you. I mean, you can call. By the way, you can call it stuffing. I never said you couldn't. I just said it's fucking not.
Okay, there's a whole nationwide branding of mainstream commercially available products called stuffing that do not get stuffed up a bird, and the whole rest of the country's just fine with it.
There's
Everybody
also
rolls
plenty
with
of
it,
nationally
always.
branded Greek yogurts that fucking Greek people would never fucking claim. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just started calling it that. People just started calling it that.
Follow, which makes it Greek yogurt. You don't have
Motherfucker,
to have
people just started calling it stuffing and then companies were like, look, this is what they call it, so we're gonna call it that. I'm just saying, it fucking is called stuffing because you put it in a bird's ass. If it ain't that, it's dressing. But it's fucking fine that you call it that.
You can also make dressing up a bird's ass, apparently.
That's stuffed dressing.
Trey, I have a question. I genuinely don't know the answer to this, and I think it bears on this conversation a lot. This nationwide marketing deal, calling this stuff stuffing, is that only the stovetop stuffing, or can you just buy stuffing that don't go up a bird's ass and they don't call it stovetop stuffing? Because I feel like
I don't know about that, but the other thing I'll say again that I already said earlier is if you go on Google and you type in stuffing recipe, You can go through 70 goddamn 5 of them, and 74 will be made in a pan in the fucking oven. And it might say on there, if you want to, you can shove this up a turkey's ass, but this is how we gonna do it. All of them. So clearly there's a bit of a consensus.
They don't want to call it something different, but it is different because it ain't stuffed.
All right, wait.
There's so many. This is just semantics. There's so many.
I agree, and that's why I'm telling you it's fine.
One thing, and now they don't.
And I'm telling you it's fine. You're the one that's fucking mad.
Hold on. There's a lot of food that was named after the way it was made, but we don't have to make it that way anymore. Pancakes, griddle cakes. You know, you can make them on a grill. What?
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying,
a novel concept. We do this with all kinds of words and things all the time.
And we shouldn't. You're fucking acting like just because we do something, that means it's okay. Our whole fucking belief system is based on that not being true. The liberal redneck motherfucker.
No, like you're the one who's refusing to change.
No, I'm not.
Forward into the future. You're being rigid and holding to these old, archaic fucking rules.
The old archaic thing is that you called it, we have to call it stuffing because we have always called it stuffing. That's what you sound like. That's you right there. I'm the one wanting to come up with a new fucking word.
Sing the song.
Thank you for listening to the WellRED Show. We love to stick around, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew.